I'm from Liverpool, England. I play video games. I love video games and I collect video games. Particularly got a fondness for games way back when in the depths of time I had long hair, great skin, fire in my loins. But I'm an old fart now. But even though I'm an old fart, I still have a fondness and a desire to play these games and to own them. I think this stems from originally the first console I really had was a Sinclair Spectrum computer. I loved it. Made a big difference playing that against things such as uh, Pong or anything else that I was familiar with on the Atari 2600. It was a massive difference to me. It blew my mind, the graphics. It was fantastic. You know, I would sit there and I'd play with my Jet Set Willy all day. I loved it. I moved on to the Super Nintendo. And really, at that point, I became a Nintendo fanboy from day one. And I stuck with Nintendo and I stayed with Nintendo. I do like things like the Mega Drive now, but back then, you were either Nintendo or you're a Sega. And I was a Nintendo boy. I used to use my pocket money or my money from a paper round to buy my games. And I didn't really get that many games. I'd get them every couple of months or so, or Christmas and birthday, I'd get a game. But it was only when I was an adult and I first started to get proper wage that I realised, I can buy these old games, and back then they were cheaper. But because I could buy them, I started picking them up all the time, and I got a real buzz off them. I got a genuine hit off it, not quite like a smackhead, but I was getting something out of buying these games. As time went on, and I found that there was less and less games, well, Nintendo games that I needed for my collection, I wasn't getting the buzz. I wasn't getting any hit, and it was quite depressing. I was missing out on it. So I started picking up games, other consoles, and at that point, I started to get my hits back and my buzz back. Not a good idea, really, if you are a compulsive hoarder, and this became a little bit of a problem for me. So this is the reason for the motivation behind this channel, to help me have a clear out as such, to sort everything out, to organise my collection, actually enjoy it, really enjoy it, and play more games. Because at the moment, I'm struggling to even get to my games to play. That is the thing. So I want to use this as inspiration to give me a constructive clear out. So if you like retro games and bad decisions, you've probably come to the right place. I'm going to show you all my games over the course of the channel, and we'll do some reviews as we dig stuff out. And if stuff's rubbish, we can get rid of it. If things are good, we can go, "Ooh, I enjoyed this a lot more than I actually remembered." So hopefully there'll be some little surprises in there, and I'm sure there will, because there's stuff in boxes that I don't even think I remember what I've got anymore. So treat this as a how not to buy games, or at least how not to be a retro video game collector, because it can go wrong. Check this mess out. It's bad. So this is it. This is my nightmare. What did at one stage be a wonderful chill out games room, I had a nice couch in here, stuff like that, it's all gone to pot. And there's Jeff. There you go. Hiya, you're right. And unfortunately, it's just a mishmash of stuff. And the thing is, this is not the only room. This is sort of one part where a lot of it is stashed, but it's just overrun me, if it's not Lego, it's various different games in the cupboards all filled with games and stuff like that. And it's just got completely out of hand. There's boxes of stuff, all different consoles, all different units, just nonsense, and I need to organise it. I need to get completely back on track. I need to really decide what I want to keep, what I want to get rid of, and I think that'd be an easier way of life. I think I would have more fun and be able to play stuff, organize stuff better, use the stuff I want to play with. I know that really it's Nintendo's what I want to play, really. And that's the thing, you know. I do like Sega. There's no doubt about that. But I think really I could do with just getting it in order, getting the stuff that I want to play, the things I want to use, and then really get shut of all the other sort of stuff that I'm not massively fussed on. And I'm not going to use this channel to sell anything. That's not my plan, but I certainly would like advice or ideas on the best way of doing this. And my ultimate goal is to have the room sorted and nice, tidy, organized, the games I want, curate what I want in here. If I have to store some stuff and put them in places where, you know, they don't need to be, then, you know, I'll do that. But really, I think by doing this channel, I'd like to use it as an incentive to actually motivate myself to get on top of it, because I'm embarrassed by just how bad this has become. And as I said, this is not the only room. You know, there is tons and tons of it all over the place. You know, so I think that would be a wise idea. And, you know, if we can get on top of everything, then I'd like to eventually finish this channel with my room complete, how it should be. And then maybe I can sit behind a desk like everyone else with a microphone and go, "Hi guys, look at me. Great. Yeah, wonderful." So let's begin. And you know, if you want to come along for the ride and have a look and see how I sort stuff out, I will start unboxing stuff. I mean, there's boxes filled, you know, with stuff, consoles, different products, accessories, all kind of things. So let's see what I've got and try and determine what's worth keeping, which maybe I can use your advice on that. And you can say, yeah, keep that. Or you might go, get rid. day, really, buying a game, you had to rely on the magazines. If a item or a product got a score of 90%, you were likely going to buy it because you trusted it. But if you went to the shop, you were knackered. I mean, look at the artwork on that. Chase HQ, I mean, that's Miami Vice ripoff. But you didn't really have any other way to determine what the game was like apart from the artwork and the screenshots on the back. I mean, things like Frankenstein there, I mean, it looks wonderful, the artwork. Even the screenshots on the back look fun. And you think, yeah, do you know what? I fancy that. That looks a good game. And that was a key part of selling it. You really had to have good artwork as your first initial catch. In Spooky Castle, I mean, that looks fun straight away. Again, nice screenshots on the back, but the artwork looks like you're going to have some fun with that. It looks like a good game. Count Duckula, everyone loved Count Duckula. No Sax, please, we're Egyptian. That's going to grab you. You're going to get it. I mean, the game could be garbage, but that was the thing. You had to trust the artwork. Again, Roll Around. That looks really spacey. Looks pretty cool artwork. It's $1.99. You're going to take that chance. And that's the thing. The artwork grabs you. But then Super Cup football, you're not going to buy that. I mean, it looks terrible. And the screenshots, wow. How awful. So these were key things, really. And that's what I like about the old games. A lot of them have good artwork. Right, so what am I trying to do? I am, first of all, just trying to make a bit of space, really. by the way, that's my original Super Nintendo I got in 1991 for my birthday. My first ever 64 I got, which I bought my first ever wage, which I got ripped off at Dixon's, because you've got to take the insurance. You've got to take all that. Long time ago, maybe they changed, but no, actually Dixon's gone. Well, that's Curry's now, but anyway, they've got shite. And there's a Mega Drive 2, there's a various Spectrum down there. Anyway, so what I'm trying to do is, because things are absolutely chaos in here, it's just stupid stuff, loads of crappy DS games, various bits and pieces, Lego, etc. There's some alright games, there's some poor games, there's a lot of wee fodder in there. But it's time for me to go through basically things like my SNES, basically. So what I'm trying to do is, first of all, as I said, I want to get this room sorted, and really I want to enjoy it again, because there's nothing actually I can use in here anymore to play, you know. I mean, so at least for the time being, before I can start displaying, I've got to organise it all. So like there's probably a couple hundred SNES games in there. I've got at the last count, it was about 500 individual SNES games, which are different. Not all, I'd say the majority are unboxed. I've probably got about 100 boxed of various different degrees, and they're not kept in this room at all. But basically, anyway, what I want to do for the time being is get these all in a box together. Well, a couple of big boxes for the time being. Let's get these moved, and then after I've shifted all them, I want another double big box of SNES. Get the 64 all in one box, and then start looking at, I think, really things like Xbox, because behind it all the Kallaxes and stuff are all, well, you can't see in there, but things like all these, I love the IKEA Kallax boxes, but they're just filled with PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and I think really I need to just shift most of stuff like the PlayStation 2. I think what I'd be better off doing is just keeping some of the games that I really like, and then just making space by clearing out games I'm not bothered about. I grew up really as a Nintendo boy, and I think really just want to stick with that. I love cartridges, because out of the thousands of cartridges I've got, I've only ever had one fail. Only one. That I've never ever been able to get working again, which we will find out one day. What driving one was it? Anyway, it's a particularly driving game, but it's all the bits and pieces. One of my favourite games ever, Rock and Roll Racing, Snake Blessing of Let's Place. What else? Utopia. Utopia. No, I don't think I've been bossed with that. Jurassic Park 2, that's okay. Black Hawk, that's a decent game. Mario All Stars, which, do you know what? I need to. I'm deciding I'm going to plan on revisiting every Mario game and start from scratch and redo them. But anyway, so the plan is put them all to one side, get them all boxed away as carefully as I can for the short term, and then once they've all been sorted, make some space, and then what I would like to do is display, say, Mega Drive across the top. I think for space, I'm going to have to put something across the top there. That back wall there's got nothing on it, so that's screaming out for like more storage space. There's my Beavis and Butthead thing, which I started drawing by hand years ago. Never finished it. It needs repainting because it's faded in the sun. And that is also an aspect of all this. Whenever I display my games, I do not want them having sunlight on them, especially Nintendo cartridges, because we know what's going to happen there. So things like that, I'm going to move all those kind of things. So the plan is to get it all shifted, get them all into boxes. As I go through stuff, I want to show off various games. I want to pick out games that I've played, that I enjoy. you know, just different ones. Yogi Bear, Mr. Do, cool. Just stuff that, you know, I've really liked playing over the years. Revisit certain games and take it from there. And I think I want to possibly keep Mega Drive stuff. I'm not so sure. But as we go through things, we'll do that. But I've got to move all the stuff first so that then we can see what's in all the storage boxes behind there. And there are all sorts of interesting consoles, old grandstand stuff. And you can just see Munchman back there. You can probably see Caveman, etc. So they're the kind of things I want to get to, and I'm probably going to bin off. I'll probably keep some of my preferred PlayStation 3, probably keep preferred PS1. I do enjoy that kind of stuff, but and likewise, I think I'll probably keep most of my DS and 3DS. I mean, there's boxes and boxes upstairs with things in, so I need to use this almost like therapy to get rid of stuff or to make myself get shut of stuff, because it ain't gonna happen if I don't do something like this. Really, I'm never gonna motivate. And this is what happens when you're a hoarder, and as well as being a hoarder, you are also collecting. Like, I got a certain amount of like Hot Wheels. I don't even collect Hot Wheels. I like Hot Wheels cars, but I just now find myself going through stuff and it just doesn't help. You know, I love physical media. So CDs, I've always kept CDs, DVDs, stuff like that. I just absolutely love all that kind of stuff, but I need to get it all cleared out. And if I don't do something about it soon, then basically it's just going to get out of hand. And so maybe I just need to go and stick with, say, things like Nintendo, SNES, 64, stuff like that, so that I do not get completely burnt out with just stuff I do not need, or just stuff I'm never going to use, you know. The old classic PlayStation Classic, which was absolute garbage as a console, and then as soon as somebody realised you could put a pen drive in it, it's amazing, especially when they were selling them for £26 a clear back in the day. Anyway, so this is what we will do. We're going to go through stuff, take it from there, and hopefully you'll see me get through stuff. And next time you see me, I'm going to try and have a bit of everything will be tidied, and then we can start going through things, and I can start sharing stuff I've got, and then showing you things and going, what do you reckon? Bin it? Ship it? Whatever. I'm not particularly looking to make money on anything. I'm just looking to not lose anything I've paid, you know. But a lot of stuff, like a lot of the DS stuff up there is just like rubbish, you know. You got your classics and stuff. New Super Mario was Mario Kart DS, but all your Cradle of Rome and, you know, any kind of puzzle things and stuff like that, it's just, you know, the 99p, 50p things, it's just nonsense. Likewise, there's a lot of Wii stuff that is just fodder. Anyway, let's take it from there, and then let's see if I can make a little bit of progress, come back to you, show you some things, because basically I am drowning in games at the moment, and that's the problem. I've got stuff that I'm hoarding. I don't know how to get rid of them. Every day I'm going to the shop and I'm picking stuff up. Today I got myself a couple of Saturn things, stuff like that. Why? I don't know, but I do get a thrill out of it. I get a little bit of it. I definitely get a kick out of finding something, buying something, and it goes in a box, and that box takes up valuable space. That's not good. It is hoarding. So, you know, let's try and get this collection down and then concentrate fully on just tweaking it, just having the best things I want to keep, and let's get rid of the junk. Okay? All right, well, hopefully, speak to you soon. Bye.
Game over.